How you doing? I'm gonna be doing a little maintenance care sheet guide on cars about people that's not too familiar with cars, and just basically basic maintenance on timing, what you should do, what you should change. If you got an older vehicle, you're trying to make it last. So first thing, of course, you want to change your engine oil, wrecked oil. It's usually on top of the cap, as you read it there. You want to change that every 5,000 miles. And next, most important oil is your transmission fluid. Now, a lot of cars, newer cars, they don't have the dipsticks no more, but you still want to change it at least every 30 to 60,000 miles. So you want to change your battery about every 3 years, 3 to 5 years. They usually last about 5 years, but if you want to make your car last and everything, you want to do everything a little before schedule, before the recommended schedule. Everything is usually in your owner's manual, but a lot of people don't have their owner's manual. They buy used cars and things like that. So the battery probably every 3 to 5 years. I would do it every 3. The coolant, that would be the next most important fluid, and I would say that goes every 60 to 100,000 miles, depending on your the fluid you got in it. But I would do it at least every 70,000 miles. Like I said, you want to be ahead of the game. So most coolants, they last about 100,000 miles. So you want to do it every 70. That's what I would recommend. And then you got your belts. It's kind of sunny out here. I don't know if the light is messing it up. But you got your belts and hoses. That would be probably the same thing as the coolant. They can last probably 70 to 100,000 miles. You know what I mean? So I would do it about every 75,000. You know what I mean? Something around there for the belts. And you got your hoses, the coolant hoses, upper, lower radiator hose. You want to change those about every 70,000 miles, 75, before it hits 100,000 miles. Then you got your PCV valve. I believe mine's somewhere in the back on this car. You know what I mean? That's a cheap item. And another thing I want to say is you want to get OEM parts. That's like parts from that's at the dealership. I mean, sometimes you could get them cheaper online. You don't have to go to the dealership to get them, but you want to make sure it's actually a part from the dealership, an OEM part they call them. So you want to change your PCV valve around every 30,000 miles. You know what I mean? That's a cheap, inexpensive part, so you definitely want to take care of that. That helps with like oil burning and things like that. You want to change your engine air filter. I do mine like every other oil change, but I do it a little early. They usually recommend about every 15,000 miles. I change my oil every 10,000. Every 5,000 miles. So I change the engine air filter about every 10,000 miles. Every other oil change. It's a cheap, inexpensive part. They cost about like $20, and it's right on top of the engine. So it's easy to get to. Anybody could change it. That's definitely an important part of the car, making the car last. Then usually around where you got the air filter, you got the mass airflow sensor, and you don't have to change that all the time unless you're getting codes and everything. But there's a way you could clean it. You just pop your screws off, and then they have a mass airflow sensor cleaner, and you give it a spray. I usually do the same thing when I do the air filter. I give it a little spray But you want to clean that at least every 20,000 miles or something like that. You know what I mean? Just spray it off and clean it. Then you got your throttle body. That's the air that comes in through there. It goes into the engine through the throttle body. You want to clean that every 30 to 50,000 miles. So you got your throttle body, get that to cleaning. It's kind of the same thing. They got a spray you use, and you get like a little napkin. Sometimes you can use a little toothbrush if it's kind of gunked up. You want to clean your throttle body every 30 to 50,000 miles. And you got your brake fluid. You want to change that every 2 years. Yep. And another thing you got to do is learn the warning signs of the car. Let me show you. Yeah, so all cars have warning signs. Yeah, see, you got the little thing up here. That's your oil. It'll let you know if you're low on oil. Your battery and alternator thing. A little sign right there. That's usually the alternator. Sometimes it could be the battery. But you want to know what all these signs mean. Your check engine light. So any signs that pop up on your car, you want to be familiar with what they are, and know when to take care of them if something pops up. You also got your alternator. Now, a lot of times people won't change these until they break. You know what I mean? But if your alternator goes out, then you're not going anywhere. Your car's gonna shut off. So I recommend you change it at least every 60,000 miles if you want to be on the safe side. They should last at least around 60, 70,000 miles, but you don't want to chance it. So I would recommend changing that around every 60 to 70,000 miles. Change your alternator. You also got your spark plugs, which is underneath here. And I would recommend, depending on your vehicle as well, some spark plugs, they last 60,000 miles. Some they say will go to 100,000 miles. But like I say, you want to be proactive. So you want to change them ahead of time. This car, the spark plugs that's in here, they're recommended every 100,000 miles. So I would change them every 70,000 miles. I mean, if you want to make your car last as long as possible, then you have your ignition coils as well. That's what goes. Your spark plugs is here, ignition coils is on top, and you want to do the same thing with them. Same as the spark plugs. They usually can last around maybe 125,000 miles, but those could cause, if they go bad, they could cause a misfire. So and a misfire, you drive with a misfire, you could definitely damage other parts of the car. So you want to change that every like I said, 70 to 100,000 miles, just to be a little proactive. And that's an important part of the car. That's gonna make your car last. And you got your oxygen sensors. There's usually about 2 oxygen sensors on the car. You usually got the downstream and upstream oxygen sensors before and after the Cadillac converter. And those don't last the life of the vehicle as well. So I would change those every 70,000 miles. You know what I mean? Keep your car running in tip-top shape. If not, you could have stalling, loss of power, check engine lights. So you want to be on top of these things. They don't last the life of the vehicle. So I would change them around every 70,000 miles for the oxygen sensors, both of them, and OEM parts as well. Like I said. You also got your crankshaft, and I believe that's this sensor on this car, and I would change that around every 100,000 miles. You know what I mean? Sometimes they can last the life of the vehicle, and sometimes they won't. But if your crankshaft goes out, and your car's not going anywhere, you know what I mean? So it's best to just stay on top of things and change those parts. I would change that around every 100,000 miles. They have the crankshaft, and they also have the it's another sensor that usually goes hand in hand with the crankshaft. The name is slipping me right now, I forget, but it'll come back to me before the end of the video. Yeah, another thing is I would recommend you have a it's a crankshaft, and I forgot the name of the other sensor. It usually goes hand in hand with the crankshaft. The name is slipping my mind right now, but I'll come back to it. Another thing I recommend is you have an ODB2 scanner. Yeah, so this is an ODB2 scanner. They got all different kinds. They range, you can get them from $20 to, they have some that's around $6,000, $7,000, even $10,000. So you don't need nothing crazy, just something that read the codes and let you know what's going on with the car. So let me hit this, give you an example. Yeah, see, this one is good, it's color coded. See, you got the green light, that means everything's good. And another thing you want to check is the I am readiness. Let's see if it goes there. Yep. And that lets you know. You see that it got the green check again. That lets you know everything is good with the car. So if you got no engine codes and I am readiness is good, it's clear, you pretty much know your car's in decent shape. So if a check engine light does pop up, you know at least what it is, and you know what to take care of. And this is small too, so you could just like this one, I just keep in the car. I have more bigger, expensive ones because I do the pre-car purchase inspections, but this is just one I just keep in the car. I think I got two here. I got another little, I got a little Bluetooth one as well that adapts to your phone, but sometimes this could be a little slow, so I just go right here, see how quickly it just popped up. But that other one gives a little more information, you know what I mean, if you want to go into live data and things like that. But I'm just speaking on right now people that pretty much don't have too much knowledge on cars and things like that. Yeah, another thing you want to change, I forgot to mention those right back there by the spark plugs, as well as your fuel injectors. You know what I mean, sometimes they have some cleaners that'll clean it out, but that doesn't work all the time. So I recommend just replacing your fuel injectors, because that's a very important part of the running of the vehicle, because they can cause stalling, loss of power, check engine codes. So I recommend changing your fuel injectors every 75 to every 70 to like 100,000 miles as well. You know what I mean? And it's not too expensive, a couple $100. If you're doing the work yourself on most of this stuff, it'll be a lot cheaper. But even if, you know what I mean, you get a mechanic to install the parts and labor, most of the stuff I mentioned is a couple $100. You know what I mean? You don't gotta do everything at once. You do one item here, one item there. If you got an older car, it'll be probably a little easier because you won't have car payments. So I recommend your fuel injectors every 70 to 100,000 miles. And like I said, you want to do it a little before the schedule, so I definitely do it before it gets 100,000 miles. Then you got your starter. If your starter goes out, you're not going anywhere as well. So I recommend that around the same thing, every 70 to 100,000 miles, OEM parts. You know what I mean? And you should be good for the most part. Yeah, so most of the things I mentioned are for the running and the starting of the vehicle, pretty much. You still want to do other things, brakes, tires, suspension parts, shocks, things like that, control arms. But that's more safety, and that's not gonna actually deal with like this starting of the car. The main thing, you want your car to start up. And you still want it to be safe, of course, but you know what I mean? You want your car to start up. You know what I mean? Drivability issues and things like that, like the driving smoothly, things like that I was mentioning. So, like I say, you still want to do the safety things, brakes, tires, and all that stuff, but talking about making your car last, that's mainly the engine components. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I was stressing on this video. Yeah, and the other component I was mentioning is the camshaft. It slipped my mind. So you got the crankshaft and the camshaft. They usually go hand in hand. Sometimes if you change one, then your car won't drive right. If you change like your crankshaft and not the camshaft, or your camshaft and not the crankshaft, sometimes your car won't even run. So I advise changing those together, your crankshaft and your camshaft position sensors. That's what they're called. And like I said, you want to try to change those every 70 to 100,000 miles, 75 to 100,000 miles. And yeah, pretty much it. And if you got like excessive shaking on your engine or something like that, it's probably the motor mounts. You know what I mean? That won't stop your car from starting or anything. But if you took care of a lot of things, and you know what I mean, you want to have your car in tip-top shape to get things little by little. You know what I mean? You could do your motor mounts, things like that, your muffler, change your muffler, things like that. You know what I mean? Just do everything little by little if you got an older car. See, I brought this car with like 150,000 miles. I do a lot of driving because I do gig work. So I pretty much did all these things we mentioned little by little. Some I did myself, and some things I paid for the parts and I got the mechanic to install. But as you've seen on the ODB2 scanner, you know what I mean, the car's in good shape, and it should, I'm hoping, last another 150,000 miles, if not more, as long as I keep those routines on the things I mentioned up. And once you get to those marks, you know what I mean, you just start all over again. Another thing I want to say, if you brought a used car and you don't have any records or anything of those things being done, you just want to change them. You look at the mileage of the car, and let's say something I said was at like 70 to 100,000 miles. You brought a car that's around 100,000 miles. You don't have any records of it being changed. You know what I mean? You just want to do it. Go ahead and do it. Don't rely on the person say, yeah, I did those, and most of the time they're lying. Yeah, you want to get a pre-purchase inspection as well. I pre-purchase inspected this myself, You know what I mean? And like I said, you see the car's is in good shape. No loud noises, no check engine lights. The monitors are all cleared. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing that you want to check. And rust as well. This was a little more rusty than I would have liked, but I was in need of a car, and I already looked at a couple other cars, and they were in worse shape. So this one I was like, I could deal with it. It's still good. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, I also do the pre-purchase inspections. I got a lot of professional equipment. It's in the videos if you scroll down. Email is wildsnake60@gmail.com, WILD60@gmail.com. In the New York area, some surrounding states if it's not too far. But if there's any tolls, I will charge you extra for the tolls, but usually the inspections are around $150. So there you go. Yeah, I'm in the Honda now. A couple things I forgot to mention with the Toyota. Yeah, well, not all cars have it. This Honda has it. It's an EGR valve. So you want to change this about every 100,000 miles as well. EGR valve. And along with the cooling system, the antifreeze, some people call it coolant antifreeze. You want to get the water pump. Change the water pump as well. It's about every 100,000 miles, 70 to 100,000. And then you got the thermostat in there. That's the whole cooling system. So the thermostat, it's a little cheaper part, but you might as well get that as well when because you gotta take the coolant out for that with the water pump and everything. So the thermostat and the water pump. Then you got your fuel pump as well. Sometimes the fuel pump can last the life of the car, but if you're expecting to get 300,000 miles, I doubt your fuel pump is gonna last 300,000 miles. So I would change that about every 100 to 150,000 miles, somewhere in between there. You know what I mean? Give or take about 150,000 miles. That's when they start to fail and everything on most cars. And as well as the gauges I was mentioning, you want to keep an eye on this as well. See where it says C and H. So mine is in the middle. That's where it's normally supposed to run, and that's your thermostat controls that. So that's if it goes up into the H, that means your car is starting to overheat. Now, if your thermostat isn't working, then you won't know. I mean, so whenever you're driving, just keep an eye on that. There we go. Yeah, keep an eye on that, and that's when you know if your car's overheating or not. Yeah, so I believe that's pretty much everything.